Right, so just I will wait for 1 more minute and then we'll start, okay?
Okay.
Oh, just 2 minutes. Right, so let's go ahead. So I think this video will be live on YouTube as well. So let's go ahead. So I think most of you attended the study session as well, right? Or anyone missed that? Nobody? You can also type in chat if you can't speak. That will be fine. No? Okay. So I think I see familiar names. So most of you attended the study session as well, right?
Yes, and
Okay. Yeah.
Sunday we
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So I will just keep on monitoring my YouTube channel as well, so that like if anybody comes ask question on the chat, so I will get to it. Okay. All right. Yeah. So do we have any questions in the previous session, or we don't have? I think that was quite simple one, right?
Actually, we don't have any questions.
Okay. Let me connect my pen. So today we talk about the security policies. Okay. No, it's not writing. Yeah. Good. So do you directly want to jump on security policies? How many of you like know the basic? I think nobody knows, right? So rather than jumping onto security policy first, I will just brief you about more about the firewall. Okay, so I will start my VMware workstation so that I can show you the GUI of it. And meanwhile, I will discuss the theoretical. So like my firewall will be getting ready. Okay, so because it takes time little bit to log in and all, right? So that I will set it up. So this is how you see that this is quite faster. Like we do not have like last yesterday you might have seen that I took uh, a lot time in explaining this VMware to start that and doing all the things. But this was like quite quicker. You just like log in, start VMware, log in the EVNG via GUI from here. You can start your firewall. Setting up the lab is like one-time job. You can set it up once and then it's fine. So it is getting ready. I will like wait for this for firewall to like ready to take the credentials. Meanwhile, I will just discuss this security policy and then before like configuring any policy and all, I will explain you some the GUI stuff that how basically that looks like and how that works. So very first thing, like what is the security policy? So security policy is like you commit, like you are defining a rule that from this machine to certain machine. Whenever I say certain machine, it means basically we are talking about the endpoints. Okay, I write it as like EP. And after that one, from this machine to that machine, whether you want to allow that traffic or you want to deny it. But the question is how basically you identify that this machine to that machine, right? So that is considerable based on the IP address. How will you identify a machine? Because every machine, whenever that is in the network, that is having the unique IP address. So we identify, or we can say that is the address of that network address of that machine. And from there, we will identify that we define the rule to allow it or deny it, right? So what we are going to write it here. For example, I take a very simple example from your machine. Can anybody tell their IP address? What's their IP address? Very basic question. I think I should take that at this time. Can anyone tell their IP address? What is there? Anyone? I think let me take my name. People are so shy here. The first name Jitin. Can you tell your IP address? Or you don't know how to check your IP
Just,
address?
just a minute. Let me check
Okay.
this.
Yeah, please.
Window R. IP config.
So, meanwhile, let me tell you as well, like how we'll check your IP address if you don't know. Like, meanwhile, Jiten is telling you his IP address. So, if you open the command prompt on your machine, right? That's how do basically. That's like very basic one. And here you just write ipconfig. This is the Windows command, and then you see a lot of IP addresses here, right? Now you have to identify that which IP address belongs to you. So very first thing, you check that this is something like Ethernet adapter. It means it could be virtual or physical. Okay. And the IP address starts with 169. So usually 169 is not the right IP address. It's like basically that it is trying to get an IP address, but it is not getting. So that's not the valid one. Another IP address we have like Ethernet adapter 192.168.50.6.1. This is also not the required IP address because this is a virtual adapter IP address, and that comes because you just check your machine that what the adapters are. Okay. But usually, whenever you check your IP address, you go for the Wi-Fi because most of the people are connected to the Wi-Fi. So if you go to the wireless LAN adapter, there is a Wi-Fi here. So this is my IP address right now, 192.168.29.13. Correct? What's the IP of Jiten right now? You can type in the chat if you want.
Like command is not running in my laptop. I don't know why.
IP
IP
config.
config not running. It's not working.
It's Windows machine or what is that?
Yeah, it's window only. Just a minute. Let me try once again.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else can do?
Window CMD.
If not, I will proceed with my IP address.
Okay. I got it. A4. 169.
Oh, that's I said that doesn't start with 169. That's not the right IP. You have to check
Okay.
with the Wi-Fi one.
Okay. Connecting specified DNS avaya.com is defined.
Something
That
would be
is
coming
one.
like wireless LAN adapter, something like that.
Okay. 192, 168, 31, 42.
31, 43, right?
Yeah, 42.
31, 42. Okay.
Hmm.
So, for example, I want to define a rule that from this machine 31.42 to some other IP address. So, for example, you want to access google.com or any website of the Google. So, if I just I want to take a little bit real example. So I just go to the google.com. Okay. So here on the Google, if I okay, not on the Google, I can check IP here. So if I check the IP address of uh, google.com, okay. So I do NS lookup and I got an IP address of the Google that is 142.250.195.14. Okay. So what I'm going to do from here to this IP address 142.250.195.14. That's basically the IP address of Google. And then you are defining here whether allow or deny. Okay. So by default, By default, Palo Alto firewall do not allow communication for the interzone, like from one zone to another zone. Traffic is denied, like you cannot access anything. So if you want to access, like from this Jiten, this is Jiten right now, and if he wants to access google.com, what I have to do, I have to define a rule, and that says that I have to allow this. So I will remove that deny part now. And if you configure this rule, that from this IP address 192.168.30.31.42, this IP to that Google IP, and the action is allowed. So if that rule is configured, or the policy in the firewall, like this Palo Alto firewall, we call it as a policy, but that's like a rule that you configured a policy to allow from this IP to that IP, and then action is allowed. So if on his machine, if he will access google.com, then he will able to open it. But in case you do not allow this rule, and after his machine you have deployed a Palo Alto firewall, then he cannot access this website, not this, in fact anything, because they will be on the different zones, and he's not allowed to permit. But if he wants to access google.com, what I have to define, I have to create a rule that from this IP to that IP, please allow the communication. And if I set it up, then he will be able to access google.com. Simple. Any question in this?
Yeah, I Anush, this in this side. So this is when the IP is same, or always this rule is same.
Yes, that's your valid question. That, uh, for example, it's your IP address, right? So usually,
Correct.
what is happening, like your router prefers your IP address. If I
Mm-hmm.
show you here and go to my this IP, right? So
Okay.
IP 29.13. Okay, it's not.
2913.
Yeah. So usually it's not showing, but it happens that in the bracket it shows as a preferred IP. So what happens that
Okay.
whenever my machine connects to that router, it always
Mm-hmm.
defines this IP address. It's like it is putting on hold for 24 hours or 48 hours, or based on the lease time we are having, and it is having the same IP address. So I'm just talking about that only, that whenever you are having the same IP address, if your IP is
Okay.
changed, then this thing is not going to work. But
Okay.
only case, like whenever your IP is fixed, then that's how you will uh, permit it.
Okay.
Got it? Cool. So now if I jump onto the firewall, I think it should be ready till now. And my IP was, I think I changed. So I will change here as well so that you do not get confused. And my management IP was 30.177. Okay, so I'm defining the same here, right? So now I can access the GUI of this firewall from this IP. So I'll just go here, 192.168.30.177, and log in it. So whoever is like watching on the YouTube, they can join this class as well if they want. The details will be on this description. Okay. So meanwhile, like this, I log on to my Palo Alto firewall, right? And here, if I go to the GUI, you can see all these options, right? ACC, monitor, policies, objects, network, and device. So very first thing, if I go to the topology, there should be a connectivity, right? From one side to other side. It means that it has two interfaces, Ethernet. So if I click the interfaces, Ethernet 1/1 and Ethernet 1/2, right? So where I can check that one, I can go to this network tab and interfaces. Here I can see that interfaces 10.1.1.1.1 and 20.1.1.1. So they are already configured. Okay, that's fine. And now if I want to allow the communication from this PC to that PC, okay, so it means that I want to allow the communication. If I put it on, so these are basically the not the actual computers, they are the VPCs. If you want, you can also add the actual PCs, like having Windows 10. If you like want to, so this is also not a server. I have replicated or presented that as a server, but actually like our job will be just to check the communication. So I will be pinging, I will initiate the ping and we'll check the replies coming or not. Okay, so that's why I have just taken the simple VPCs, but actual things like if you go in the real environment, that could be the actual servers, but ultimately your goal will be to allow through the communication. So now if I configure an IP here, so in the VPCs, like the IP address is configured in such a way. That's how basically we configure 10.1.1.1.10, 10.1.1.10/24, and gateway IP address I will put it this one, that which is directly connected to the Palo Alto 10.1.1.1.1. Okay. So once I do that, I can see the show IP now. And
Like
yeah,
subnet was not correct. What you have
subnet.
configured.
Okay, I think I have correct. Yeah,
You missed one.
yeah. Not same subnet. It's giving the error.
Yes.
All right. So I think it's correct now. Okay, it's now put the same command. If I run the show IP now it has been defined, right? So earlier it was like 0.0.0, but now it has 10.1.1.1.10, right? So that's how basically like we define the IP address on the VPCs. You will learn because we are having like long journey. We have a lot of classes for that, so you will easily understand. But that's how basically it's not too complex as well. And same thing I'm going to do for this machine. That named I have named it server, but basically that's also VPC. So IP address is 21.120. So I will choose that IP 21.120/24, and subnet it is going to be the directly connected interface of the firewall. That should be 21.1.1 as I remember. Yeah. So it is 21.1.1.1. Now I hit enter and my IP address will be assigned to it. Show IP. Yeah, here we go. Now let's check the policy, that what are the policies available, right? So if I go to the policy section here, so there's a test policy which says that that's allowed. So I will just delete it for creating your interest. Okay. And then I will create new one. So whatever changes we make, for every time we have to make this commit. So it's like you are writing your configuration on your Cisco router, right? You make changes, but you have to write it. Same way in the Palo Alto, you make changes, then you have to commit it in order to proceed further. So we'll just wait for a few seconds to let that commit finish. Okay, it's done. So now if I check the communication, for example, from this machine, right? This machine is 20. Just give me 1 minute. Sorry. So I was about to ping the destination machine, right? So I initiate the ping, and that was 20.20.20, right? So 20.1.1.1. So what do you guys say, that it will work or not work? Yes, no? Any clues?
It will not work
It will not work. Okay. So
because because we didn't create a policy, right, to communicate from
correct.
VPC to the server.
Correct. So we do not have any policy because we have these two default policies, and that are intrazone and interzone. These are default policies available. Intrazone says that the traffic is allowed. The first one you say, intrazone, like within the zone, the traffic is allowed. But if it is going out of zone, like from one zone to another zone, that's not going to work because that action is denied. So these are like on two zones, these machines from here to here. Okay. Internal to internet. So they are not going to work. So if I ping right now, they are going as a request timed out, right? So now I want to make this communication happen, right? So what I'm going to do, I will create a policy. Let it go through it. So I went to policies section and add a new policy. Once I create a new policy, let's give a name as a test policy. Okay. Description, you can give anything if you want. If not, that's also fine. Just lock on your requirement. Source zone, that's from where it is communicating. So the source zone, it is going to be internal for this as of now. So I will define these zones are already created. So I will select those internal. Okay. And source address, that from what's the source IP address from where you want to allow the communication. So the source IP address is going to be this this 10.1.1.10. So there's two options. Either you can choose specific IP address, or you can take a little bit larger network. It means like 10.1.1.0/24 also you can allow. So I will just like take network complete 10.1.1.0. If you want, you can also take a single IP. That doesn't, it's not a problem. But I have taken a network here complete. Like this is going to be basically it is going to be 10.1.1.0/24. So that includes the IP address. I think you guys know the networking well. That's why in the first class I said that you should be knowing the subnetting. If you don't know, that's going to be tough for you. So this covers the range of IP address 10.1.1.254, like 1 to 254. I have excluded the broadcast and the network IP address, right? So these IP address range will be falling under this. And our IP address, what it was 10.1.1.10. So obviously that IP address comes under this range. So That's why I have taken this entire network rather than just a single IP address. So anyhow, by that way also the communication is going to be allowed. Now I don't need not to select any source user, but if you want, like in further, I will be explaining that how you can use these as well and source devices. So these two options are also available, but these are used based on the requirement. That's how the requirement. But as of now, there is no requirement in our lab scenario, so we'll not use those. In case of destination, the destination zone that is going to be internet. So that's also already created. So I will just use that internet. The drop down. The destination address. Our destination address is going to be this 20.1.1.20, right? So I go here, and here I see that's 20.1.1.1.20 is not available. So one way, like you can allow for all, but if not, you can choose that that is specific IP address, right? 20.20.20 dot the IP address was 1.20, right? So I will use not 20, that was 20.1.1.20. 20. Okay. So subnet, because this is a specific IP address, so that is going to be /32. We can define the /32 here, but even if you don't define, it works automatically. Like you don't need not to define that you /32. If you leave like this, it will assume that this is /32 or just a single IP address, and it will work. Okay, so I just give a single IP address 20.1.1.20. Application. So as of now, I will allow all applications. Okay. And here on the port numbers, you can define that what ports you want to allow. So like if you are accessing the internet or using the browser, you can use HTTPS service. That's basically port 443, HTTP port 80, or you can also like SSH and all. So those things are also available. So that you have to define those services and you can allow. But as of now, I will not restrict in our lab so that all communication will go through. Okay, so I will select as any service that is allowed. Only restriction I have put on the source and destination. Applications are any, services are also any. And action here I can select allow, deny, drop, reset client, reset server, and or you want to reset both of them. So as of now, like I will put an action as an allow because I want to see communication going through from one machine to another machine. So my policy is set. I will click OK. This is the source, that is IP, destination. This is source, that's destination. And will that work now? Should I be able to ping it? What do you say?
We need to configure on server side also, right?
We have to configure on server side as well.
Yep.
Why so?
Because present we only give the inbound traffic, but we need the outbound traffic also, right? To communicate from server to the PPC.
Okay, so you mean that I have permitted the communication from here to here, right?
Right. Yes.
But whenever the server will reply from here
Yeah.
to here,
We
that
need to.
I have not allowed through the policy, right? That's what
Right.
you mean.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So actually, what is happening that Palo Alto, I was about to explain that in the next class, but you asked right now, and that's required as well. So I will tell that. Palo Alto is basically a session-oriented firewall. Okay. Session-oriented means that whatever the traffic is crossing through it or the action is allowed, for that it installs a session on the firewall. Okay. Whenever a session is installed, what the firewall does, the reverse traffic of that one is automatically allowed. No additional policy is required for that one.
Okay. So for this, is there any default session like that, like with time interval and timeout interval?
For these sessions,
Yeah.
yes, they are based on the time. If you do not like the communication is not happening based on that session, that will be based on certain time. That session will clear out. That will be removed from the firewall. So it doesn't mean that you like, for example, today you initiated this communication 10.1.1.10 to this guy, and you do not communicate something, and reply traffic is coming. Like now he's initiating the communication, then it is coming. It will not be happening. This is totally dependent on the TCP three-way handshake, right? That's basically helps to install the session. I will be explaining these on all the details in the upcoming sessions because this is on the policy. So if I explain everything here, it will be like a 5 hour session. So I will explain these once again in the detail. But as of now, like this return traffic does not need any return policy because this is a session oriented firewall, and based on that session, it will uh, allow the return traffic. You can understand this in the very simple way. For example, this is your home. Okay, two guys are sitting here. They are living happily. And if one of this guy was in the right side, this guy goes outside. Okay, so if he goes outside and if he is returning home, you will allow him. You will not ask a lot of questions that why you are coming, what's the purpose of that, why you are coming here, right? Because he's the guy who was living from this home, and you are expecting that okay, he will return. So it's like you initiated the communication, you went there, and you are expecting something in return. But anyhow, somebody from the like unknown person comes here. He is not from your home. You're not like expecting someone. And then he is asking here, you will deny it. You or not deny, basically like you will do the policy check that whether you are permitted or not permitted. Then only you will permit this guy inside your home. Otherwise, you will not. I think that correlates. Right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So now if I it's still like this question remains same that if I ping here from here to there, so like whatever like you said that it will not ping, okay, but the explanation what you said that was not the right one. So it will not work. I'm right now I'm telling you, but why it will not be pinging, that you have to tell me. One of the thing I have missed, and because of that, it is not
Commit. You
commit
haven't commit
exactly.
the
I
policy.
haven't committed exactly. So I have created the policy. I see it here, but that's still not in place because commit was pending. So I have to commit that, and you can see the changes that what changes I'm going to make here. So in that changes, I'm creating a new policy with that name test policy. These are the details, source, destination, and all. And I commit it. So now commit is fine. I think I can see here the task as well. Okay, that's completed. And now if I ping it, from this machine, and we see that the ping is happening now. Cool. You like it? Any questions in this?
No question.
No. Okay. So now if I want to check the logs that I say the traffic is really passing through or it is not passing through, right? So I can go to this monitor tab, and here I can see the communication, what is happening. So this was a source IP, this was the destination IP, and the application was ping, and action was allow, and it was using the name as a test policy. And that's how the communication was happening, right? So even if I do the continuous ping, we could see a lot of traffic through this one. Okay, takes a little bit time. 980. Okay. Okay, so it is using the same session. You see that this is just an increment, 2.54K. Okay, after that one, it has taken one more. So that's how basically you can see the sessions and how much data one of that session is being transferred through that one. Cool. What if now this guy who was here, okay, let me cancel that continuous ping unnecessarily. What if like my return traffic, like this guy, he tries to ping that one, right? So if that destination, like from the server, I try to ping that machine, like reverse traffic from here to here. So I think most of you will say that this will not work, right? What you say?
It will work.
It will not, right?
It will.
It will. Okay, if I ping from here to here, it will or it will not?
It will, because you said Palo Alto is a session oriented.
Right, session oriented. So session oriented means that it will only allow the reply traffic, okay? Reply only. To know the TCP three-way handshake, how does it work? Like whenever anybody is trying to, or just like don't get into that. Like let's see the debug, okay? So whenever like you might have seen the packet capture, right? What happens that you send a ping here, okay? Ping request, there's one thing. And then for that ping request, there is a ping reply, right? You have seen this one, right? Or you haven't? If you do the
Yes.
packet capture or something, it shows you that this is a ping request and this is a ping reply. So whenever the ping reply is coming, that it will allow through. Okay, because it knows that it is a reply, and why it is reply? Because there was a ping request, and that is available on my firewall as a session. Okay, so if that session is installed, like ping request is there on the firewall, it knows that okay, the request is there, then only the ping reply will allow through. But if you initiate connection like ping from here, then what will be happening? It will be sending a ping request from here, right? So even like this ping request, this firewall will not allow. He will say, no, why you are initiating? You're not allowed to pass through my firewall. Your source is not this 10111. You cannot go. Your source 10.20.1.1 is not in my source list. If he says that I check my policies and my policy says that only this 10 subnet is allowed, but you are 20 subnet. You cannot go as a source. Got my point?
Yes.
So it will not allow. I can try, yeah. I can try that. If I ping 10.1.1.10, it says request timed out. It will not work. So I need another policy in order to allow the bi-directional traffic. This is called bi-directional. Like both like source and destination can initiate the traffic. I'm talking about the initiate. Communication is fine. Like whenever the reply is coming, that will be allowed to. But in this case, current existing policies, this guy, the source, like internal, can initiate the traffic and server, whatever it will reply, that only will come. But if server tries to reach this guy, VPC, he cannot. If this guy initiates the communication, right? So if this is initiating the connection, like for example, any of the SFTP server is here, and he tries to access that SFTP server, he cannot. That's not allowed. So I have to like, but it could be requirement that you have SFTP server here, SFTP server here as well, like in both the cases. So from this machine, you can access this SFTP server, and that server can access this SFTP server. So this is called bidirectional. Like you want to access the resources for one of each other. That's only happens like in the critical app servers only. Usually, like in the our browsing traffic, that doesn't need. For example, you want to access google.com. So you can access google.com, you can go to Google, but it doesn't mean that google.com will also access your personal data on your machine. No, not allowed. You cannot do that one. Or in fact, you access any website, XYZ, they cannot access your machine. They cannot. They are not allowed to access your machine. You can access, you can go there, but they cannot come back to your machine and they can extract all your sensitive information or insensitive information, whatever it is. They cannot. Right? So if you want to allow that, you have to specifically allow that, okay, please Google or anyone, you just come back to me and then you are permitted. So that how I will do, I will create, either I can modify here on the same policy, like here in the source, I can add one more 20.1.1.20. Okay. So now this is the source. And then the destination, I have added that network 10110. So it means that reverse, I have, if you check the policy now source and destination both are part of the same policy. In some cases, we also create a new policy. If you create a new policy with that reverse source and destination, that also works, not a problem. But you can create in this way as well. That option is available. So I can commit that. And now the reverse traffic will also work. Okay, it is done. Now, if I do that same thing, it still says the same problem. Okay, something is wrong. Let's see. Ah, okay. So only one more thing I have to do, not only these subnets, I have to include zones as well, right? Because zones are different as of now. So I have to include both the zones. So rather than that's why we prefer to add create a new policy. Otherwise, it will this policy becomes totally mess. But I will do it right now. Because if you modify this everything in the same policy, it's like opens up some unnecessary communication. So always prefer to create a new policy for the bidirectional traffic. Do not use the same policy.
Also, I have small question.
Yeah.
So, when we talked about the zones, internal and internet, that means internet is nothing but external, right?
Uh, yes, internet
In
is
policies. Yeah.
yes, internet is basically external. We can refer to, yeah,
Okay. Internal means our local
our
means
local network. Correct. Yeah.
thank you.
So it is done. I will check once again, and here we go. So now we are able to see the communication in the reverse direction. We can also see it here on the monitor tab. Not right now. Okay, so now we see the reverse communication as well from this source to that destination. Cool. Any questions to this?
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I will stop this for today, and then let me tell you that you can because this is going to be like let me talk about these classes. So these are going to be like live classes on the weekends. So some of you have already enrolled. That's fine. If some of you might not, for those this information is there. So these are going to be live classes on the weekends. So that's basically on Saturday and Sunday. And timing will be 9:30 to 11 a.m. IST. Okay. So that's the same time like we started on the same time. So that's how the time it is. And this is going to be around 30 hours content. So looking onto that one, it is approximately covered in the 10 weeks or 2 months. And the price for it, like we have to this 49998 that you can enroll for it from my website. Let me tell you where basically you can go there. You can go to, there's my web page, freshdeveloper.online. Okay, so here you can go to this Palo Alto firewall. So you can some additional details like what are the things I'm going to cover if you have not gone through the study session, because in the last session, the first session, I have explained in the detail what I'm going to cover with the more details. And you have to like click on this pay and enroll. So you can pay that amount via Razorpay, and then we will be joining the uh, coming classes. So I have updated this timings and all. Yesterday it was not updated actually. So this is updated. So we started actually on the 19th and we'll continue these classes. So we'll be taking limited number of students. So prefer to enroll faster. Else like you could be like you are coming and we already have a lot of involvement. So in that case, I may not be taking you, or like even if you pay for that one, I have to refund that one. Okay. So that's how you can enroll for this one. And if you have any questions regarding this, you can ask. I can also give you this link directly. Chat. I think I shared this yesterday as well, but some of you, I see new guys. So for that, I will give. So prefer to do it by today, else like you, there are chances that in case of large enrollments, we miss it. Like you miss it, okay? Let me know if you have any questions.
I have a small question. Do you provide any labs?
Yes. So for the labs, basically, I do not any provide any cloud-based labs. I will help you to set it up on your machine.
Okay.
So basically, like I will be providing you images for this Palo Alto routers and this machines, so that you can set it up on your machine by yourself. If not, then we will troubleshoot. If you have any issues, then we'll try to check it and try to fix it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank
So
you.
that's so you'll have help you. Yeah.
Is there any recommendation for like in terms of RAM,
RAM
Palo?
minimum requirement is 8 GB with the i3 processor or like AMD Ryzen 3. But the best and like optimum performance comes with 16 GB and i5 or AMD Ryzen 5 processors.
Okay.
Below that one, like it works, but this is like quite slow. So you will not feel good on that one. But in case if you do not have, you can still like try to uh, stay with that one. But it's not like you will not get no good feeling. Let's suppose you started your firewall, it is started in 1 hour. So you will not feel good because the time you see that it took for me like around 10 minutes. So if you take 1 hour, it will be like frustrating for you.
Okay. Anuj, like, can we enroll this not today, like tomorrow, next tomorrow? Is it okay for you?
Yeah,
If
just
we,
I if we have like spaces like we do not have like because I have target around eight enrollments only. So if you have, like, then we may have to like refund you in case you make it, because I will try to remove this payment links from here, but in case even if you like it remains and you miss it, so that's fine. Like you can go for tomorrow as well, not a problem. But I'm just giving you the, the
Okay,
heads up. That's it.
sure.
Yeah, not a problem. You can do tomorrow as well.
And so I'm trying to
Mhm.
enroll now, but for some reason I'm seeing some error like payment could not be completed, like international cards are not supported. So what is the process to enroll for
Okay, okay.
international?
Yeah, let
Good.
me give you another link for that. That actually the cost is a little bit higher for that one, but I can
Yeah.
uh, give you.
So can I pay with Google Pay?
Yeah, that's also fine. You can do.
Okay. So for that I need your phone number, contact detail.
Yep. I will share you. You are on WhatsApp, right? I will share with you on WhatsApp or
I just
email.
yeah, I just
Yeah,
ping you in
just say
WhatsApp.
hi. Yeah, yeah. Go to that. So Praveen is asking what other courses you teach. So I take that basically Palo Alto, FortiGate, and F5 right now. These three I'm focusing right now.
Are you starting F5 or FortiGate soon?
FortiGate F5, I'm like running these recorded sessions. You can watch through on my YouTube channel in slow pace. And for FortiGate live, I'll be starting after this Palo Alto is finished.
Okay. So Palo Alto when is gonna finish?
It will be like in 2 months, like we'll be finishing this Palo Alto, and then we'll start FortiGate. And then I'm planning that I will start this F5. So this three will be like in round robin fashion. Palo Alto, FortiGate, Palo Alto. Sorry, F5. 40, Palo Alto, FortiGate, and F5. That's how it will be.
Mhm. Today is my first session, so is there WhatsApp link or something?
Yes, my contact number, you can see it here.
Uh-huh.
So you can reach me on WhatsApp on this.
Okay. Are you also going to help us in setting up the lab?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Yes, I do that. Yeah.
So I've got like 16 GB RAM, so is it there?
Yeah, 16 GB is like more than sufficient. So I have sent you the scanner as well as the UPI. You can do it on that as well. Because the other link what I have shared with the CPM security, that is a little bit higher cost because of the platform charges. But that accepts the international payments as well. In the Cholar, it's cost, I think 100. Yeah. So I think let me give you that link. Hold on.
No, I just enrolled now. So they said I'm
Okay.
Excel now.
Yeah, cool. So I will just be providing you an access. Yeah. So some of the queries I see on the YouTube. So for there, I have provided the link, the payment link.
Difficulties to crack PCNSA.
Sorry, Praveen. Yeah.
How difficult is to crack PCNSA exam?
It will not like no guarantee you to crack PCNSE, but yeah, it just covers around 90% of syllabus of that PCNSE.
No, NSA.
NSA syllabus, I think comparatively less that could help because that no cracking the exam takes skills on past replying the questions. So if you do not uh, go do the practice of the questions, it is going to be tough for you. Knowledge you can have like good, you can work with this one, but for the cracking the exams, you need little bit answering the questions. You need little practice, but it can help you. Yeah, it will help you.
Is it a practical exam?
That PCNSA.
NSA. Yeah.
NSA content I have to check. Not the practical, I think, but the scenarios are this scenario based only. Both the PCNSA and PCNSE both are not like uh, not the lab based. Like you have to do the configuration like CCIE, not like that one. Okay.
Mhm. Okay. Because the passing score is very high, 850 out of 1000. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
do you cover global protect?
Global Protect, I will not be covering in this content. That only site-to-site VPN I will be covering.
Oh, can you approve my WhatsApp request?
Sorry, come again.
Can you approve my WhatsApp request for to join the group?
Okay, I think that's like you can click on that link, it will join you
No,
automatically, right? Or it asking to
no,
approve.
no, it is asking you have to approve,
Okay, let me check that.
waiting for approval.
Okay, let me check that. Yes, name with Kumar, right?
Yes, yes, come on.
Yeah, I just did it. Yeah.
So when the FortiGate F5 starts, like, you will be updating it here.
Yes, I usually update in the group, and
Oh,
this group is like now helpful, like any job opportunities or any knowledge sharing perspective. Like anybody can share any information. So, and I also update our page. So it's like open for everybody. This is a common discussion group. And only request the required ones. I see that you're requesting other groups as well. So only request the required one. So otherwise you will get unnecessary messages.
yeah, yeah, I'm requesting. So do I need to
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
be part of other
Groups, yeah.
uh, these are individual groups, right?
Yes, individual. Yeah.
So for that also requires approval, or because I'm not seeing any messages there. So
Yeah. For every group you need an approval. I will approving as we just get more free.
okay.
All right, guys. So if you have any questions, let me know. Else, like we'll stop for the day.
Sure, Anand. We can
Yeah.
start.
So I think I see some of the enrollments and some of the failed as well. So I'll just who is having like issues, their payments have been failed. I'll be sharing another payment of no, method of payment, so we can coordinate for those ones. All right, guys. See you next week. Till then, bye bye.
Sure, thank you.